I was reading this devotional the other day, and the author had a really interesting question. He said, why did God take 6 days to create the earth and the world? And, I'd never thought about that before. I mean, his point was this. He said, why did it take God 6 days? Why didn't God just say, let there be world, let there be universe? Kind of like let there be light. Why did God choose to take 6 days to create? Why didn't he just do it all at once? I mean, he's all-powerful God, right? So he can do anything. So he could have just said, boom, have it done, and then move on. But God didn't. God took 6 days to create everything that was in creation. The author said this. He says, I think God wanted to show us the process of change. Each day, God saw what was done, and God enjoyed what was done. God didn't complain of all the different things that still needed to be done. God just enjoyed each day and celebrated each day until the next. And I kind of like that idea. I like this idea that while God could have done everything quick and right away, creation, the very story of creation, reveals to us that God is not just about the end product. God is about the process. God enjoys the process of creating and seeing things change and move and develop and grow. So this idea got me to thinking about spiritual growth and spiritual change. So I remembered this verse from 2 Corinthians chapter 5, and it's a verse that gets put on bumper stickers and all kinds of things, t-shirts and stuff. It's a great verse. It says this, it says, so if anyone is in Christ, there is a new creation. Everything old has passed away, and see, everything has become new. Now, here's the thing about that verse, is I read that verse and I see kind of instantaneous change. It's almost like there's this instantaneous change, right? The old has passed away, boom, it's over. The new has come, boom, there it is, right? And it seems like it's instantaneous. But the word that Paul uses here is a new creation. If anyone is in Christ, there is a new creation. Now hang with me here. If God took 6 days to create the earth, is creation a process? And if creation is a process, then spiritual change and spiritual growth isn't instantaneous. Yes, the old has passed away, but it is also passing away. And the new is not just become, but it's becoming. Now, I'll be honest. Unfortunately, the Greek doesn't back me up here, because I looked it up and I thought, wouldn't it be great if the tense that is used for became new is like a becoming new, but it's not. So anyway, maybe this whole idea is not a very biblical idea. And yet I can't help but think it really truly is. Because I know that my own personal spiritual growth was not instantaneous. I know my own life with Christ has not been an instantaneous, I'm one way one day, and the next day I'm completely, absolutely different. This new creation that I'm becoming is a process of change. It's not one day one way and the next day the next. And you know what? Here's the other thing is, sometimes in this process of spiritual growth that I've been going through, I have moments where I go in reverse. Is it like that for you? I mean, is living into what it means to be a disciple of Jesus, what it means to be a follower of Christ, what it means to be a believer in God, is it black and white, one way one day and the next day the completely next, or has there been process? And is this process included times of great quick growth and sometimes very slow growth and sometimes maybe even going backwards? I honestly think that that's the way God intended it. God created in process. It wasn't instantaneous. Apart from saying, let there be light and there was light, or let there be this and there was this, yeah, there is some instantaneous moments in creation, but it's also a process of things growing and developing over time. So my prayer for you and for me is that we embrace the process. We embrace the process of change and growth that God is placing in us, because there's something that happens within that process of change and growth that's worth us noticing and experiencing. And at the end of each day where God rested in that, there is a moment for us to recognize how far we've come, and yet at the same time, what still needs to be done. That's how God embraced creation. And those of us who are in Christ, who are now a new creation, we're still becoming that. So, enjoy the process, enjoy the change, allow God's Spirit to move into you and through you today and the next day and the next day.